Hey guys, the US is officially done. They have been eliminated from Copa America in the group stage in a rather pretty, I would say, weak group off the bat. Tonight they've lost 1-0 to Uruguay, and so now they are done. They came out firing, guns blazing. We're very, very aggressive. We're on the front foot, but we're ultimately shut out in a game that they played like they needed to win in terms of how many players they sent forward and just their overall kind of push there to get the early goal and then to get go on top there in the second half. Uruguay gets a goal. You could argue that it was offsides. VAR's ruled it wasn't. So we'll get more into that. I got three things that I took away from tonight's match. Again, USA are going home. The road ends in Kansas City at Copa America, the dress rehearsal for the 2026 World Cup that is going to be held in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. We're going to start with the developments that happened late game. Uruguay did not opt to field a B squad like some prognosticators kind of predicted. They were essentially through tonight. The huge goal differential coming in. A lot would have had to happen. Crazier things have happened before, but Uruguay was all but assured of going through. And then even as the match went on, with it being level 0-0 at the half, and Panama being up 1-0 over Bolivia, even the odds went up even higher that Uruguay was going to be going on to the next round as the match day went on, the simultaneous matches that were going on at the same time. Then in the second half, Bolivia did knot the game. They knotted the game at 1 with Panama. So at that juncture, with the U.S. tied 0-0 with Uruguay and Bolivia tied 1-1 with Panama, you had a scenario of the USA sneaking through to the next round. If those results held, ultimately they did not. Uruguay got that goal to go up 1-0, and they ultimately shut out the U.S. That assured it. And then I guess maybe to pour salt on the wound, Panama bagged 2 goals there late against Bolivia. One of them, I believe, in the 79th minute, and the other one in stoppage time to win that game 3-1 and to clinch second place in the group. And Uruguay clinched first place with a perfect 3-0-0 mark in the group stage of Group C. And if for those taking note, Bolivia was the lowest ranked team in the FIFA rankings going into this tournament, probably the worst team in the tournament. They fell 5-0 to Uruguay in the previous match. 2-0 they fell to the U.S. in the first match. And then today, Panama, they got 3 goals past Bolivia. Bolivia did get their 1 goal. They got their one shining moment to be sent off from this tournament. And the U.S. is left kind of pondering what happened in the tournament. They scored 3 goals, 3 games. Again, pretty disheartening for them to get shut out here in a match where it was do or die, and they came in expecting to need to get a win. That's how it ended up being, and they did not score. I want to go kind of late game and kind of break down what I saw. The U.S., while they did create some chances early on and, picked up the pace of play, they weren't really as effective getting the balls, finding the cracks in the back line of Uruguay, trying to get past the low block there in the second half. And just not a lot of movement in the center of the park, not a lot of forwards checking back to the ball, not a lot of 1-2s, combination plays there in the middle of the park. Just looked like they just didn't have a ton of idea of how to create really quality goal scoring chances against Uruguay. This is nothing new. I think this has been something that's kind of been creeping in there during the World Cup, the last World Cup, some of the friendly matches they played. Just very not a coherent group. They are dubbed the golden generation, but until they kind of materialize that on the field, they have a bunch of players who play in Italy's top flight, a lot of top leagues in Europe, the Premier League. But until they really show that they can develop the chemistry and you have leadership and you have players who can find that final ball to create goal scoring chances, they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle in the World Cup. They should get out of the group of the World Cup, but I think the same could have been said about the Copa America, was that they were going to get out of this group. Um, the striking pool is not great. Florin and Balogun got injured. He had a harsh tackle. It was hard to see. The camera angle was bizarre tonight for the first like 40 minutes. That's another story. But I did think that he's the U.S.'s best forward. Had a little bit of a breakout here in this tournament. Had 2 goals, had an assist. But so losing him was definitely detrimental to the team. They're kind of devoid of a striker out there that could really put a fear into Uruguay and hold up the ball, be a target forward, win 50 balls out of the air, things like that, things you kind of expect from a forward. Pepe is not that. He came on for flow. Haji Wright came on the second half. Not much of an impact. He had a couple of chances to get on the ball and put on the net. He had like a kind of a squeaker that almost barreled down towards the goal, but was cleared away. And then Josh Sargent was in there. I think Josh Sargent was hurt or not coming in fully healthy, per some reports. And he's kind of been a forward that he had a good World Cup. I believe he might have got hurt as that then as well, but the team is just lacking strikers, and I think that's always been a position that the U.S. men's national team has struggled with. But it's just surprising now. We're in 2024 now, and still can't get a forward that can hold the ball, do some hold up play, forward that can be a poacher, forward that can put the ball in the back of the net. When I look back at the last 20 years of the striking pool since 2002, 22 years, quick name that comes to mind who would have been great tonight in those late game situations, Brian McBride. I've got a couple other names, Brian Shing, Josie Altidore. Those were guys that could get on the ball, win it out of the air, hold it up, and then link up or lay the ball off to the likes of Christian Pulisic, as well as who we got today. We had Gio Reyna. He had a pretty good game as well. Weston McKennie. Those are guys that could have benefited from the ball being won and then a layoff and then a shot on frame. So that didn't happen. Quite discouraging because it seems like progress is being made for this team in the program, but it wasn't there for that. And yeah, a guy like Brian McBride, Brian Shing, Josie Altidore could either put some of those crosses away, some of those long throw-ins, or they could have been guys that won it, got it down to an attacker to score. And I did think at some point the U.S. just needs to come up with better ideas. Like I said, attacking through the middle of the pitch, middle of the park, finding those right passes, those seams. Also to close the game, they just kept throwing the ball into the box with long balls, crosses, just lofting in the box, long throw-ins. Very, very, I mean, honestly, high school-ass soccer in America. It wasn't working, and they kept going back to it. They never played the ball short. They weren't doing any keeping the ball on the ground. They weren't, just no variation, no kind of inventiveness to kind of make sure that they get a chance, some more quality goal-scoring chances. The back line was solid. I thought Tim Ream, wasn't really high on him playing again still for the national team considering how old he is, but man, he's aging like fine wine. He's playing great for Fulham. He had a great Copa America. Backline did their job. You could say they gave up 2 goals against Panama, but I think they did what they had to do. They shut out Bolivia. They held Uruguay to 1 goal. A strong, really, really strong Uruguay team. This Uruguay team might go to the final. They might win this tournament. So they did what they had to do. Um, Antoine Robinson was really strong. He got up the pitch. He kept getting up the pitch, giving them another potential player who would get the ball into the box for potentially a goal. Um, but yeah, it wasn't necessarily the service. It was just kind of the inventiveness that this team lacked, and for a golden generation, that's pretty appalling. And I know there's a lot of complaining about the refs, the offside on the goal. Um, Christian Pulisic complaining when he got hacked down sometimes. And I get it. He doesn't like getting fouled a lot, so I kind of give him a pass. But I did see him complain a lot late in the game when I think he had a shot that went wide and he went to the official asking for a foul call. Was a little bit surprising to kind of in the heat of the moment there complaining for a foul call. I don't remember seeing that, for instance, on like the fabled 0-2 team that went to the quarterfinals, where players were really getting into the refs over calls. So I don't like that. But like I said, I'm gonna give him a pass because he's getting hacked down a lot and not getting the calls. Some of the officiating, I don't think it's great. You can go on and on about the inconsistencies and just some of the bad calls, but I like to hone in and focus more on the controllables and just taking care of what you got to do. The U.S. didn't create enough chances in this the past 2 matches. Last match they were down a man, so you could say that was a pass, but they didn't score today against Uruguay, and it's the golden generation. They didn't live up to the billing. And with that said, Greg Berhalter, who was also on that 0-2 team as a defender, he will he won't survive this. He's done. He's gonna be fired. That's my prediction. I think it's pretty clear. Um, he almost didn't survive the World Cup when they got out of the group there in Russia and Qatar. But yeah, I think he's done. They're gonna have to find a new coach. Who they gonna find? Maybe we'll go over some candidates here soon. I know Jesse Marsh is American, and he's with Canada, and they are in the final 8. So the only CONCACAF teams to get out of the group stage so far is Panama and Canada, and then Costa Rica might potentially have a chance. They make up a lot of a goal differential on that group to potentially catch Brazil. We'll find out tomorrow from Group D. But yeah, guys, it's been great talking to you guys about Copa America. We'll see if we get some more U.S. men's national team posts here, and we'll see if we continue to kind of go on and maybe track the CONCACAF teams here in Copa America. As I said, Canada, Panama, and then maybe Costa Rica. So that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in to Wide Nation of Sports. Again, the U.S. journey is done. This is really their last competitive match as a national team until the 2026 World Cup held by the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. Those trio of hosts, Mexico also was ousted in the first round, so probably a lot of CONCACAF news coming here in the next couple of days. I want to appreciate y'all and thank y'all for coming out. Peace.